Hello again, and welcome back to my YouTube page. This is where I give my opinions on the BLs and the GLs that I watch, and I just say what's on my mind or how I felt about them when I was watching them. Alright, this video is going to be about 4 BLs, right? I'm going to do another 4 BLs. So let's just dive right into it. Alright, so let's start with the X Morning. Yeah, the new gmmtv BL. I love it. I do. I love it. Okay. I think it's been a while since a BL has had me this hook. A GMMTV BL has had me this hook in the first episode. The story was good, the comedy was good, it was pulling you in. Like the story was really good, that was pulling me in. I hope it stays consistent like this to the very end because that was a very good, strong first episode. I'm not going to lie. It had a really good balance between the past and the future that it actually made you want to know a little bit about what happened in the past. I don't know what else to say, but the story is just I love the first episode. I love it. There were even lesson moments here and there, but they were not overdone in a very obnoxious kind of way or anything like that. So it's a good story. It's a very, very good story. So enjoy that. That's what I have to say about that. On to the next story, which is Sweet Tooth Good Doctor, right? Now with that show, I watched the third episode. I continue with the wait. Did I continue with the third or fourth episode? I don't remember. I'll put it up, I'll put it up in the video. But I think it is the third. Anyway, I enjoyed it more than the second, right? When I watched the first episode, I thought it was a nice show, and then I watched the second and it felt very slow and a little bit quite boring to me. I'm not gonna lie. There wasn't much happening. It felt very fan service. I don't know, there wasn't much happening with the plot. So I wasn't really interested to continue, but one day I was like, you know what, give this another chance. And I did, and I enjoyed the third episode more than I thought I would. It had actually more of a plot than the second, something that like it just did not feel like fan service. There was more to it, and I really enjoyed that. I think that's all I have to say about it for now. Yeah, I think that's how to say. There's not much to say about that, so I'm just going to say that. And now let's move to the next story, which is Boys in Love. With Boys in Love, that too it's similar to Sweet Tooth Good Dentist. I was actually invested. Actually, I wasn't invested in the first episode of that show, but I still wanted to, give it more of a chance. So I watched the second, and I was enjoying the second episode until they did something that I don't know. I don't feel like watching the third episode because of that. All right. And what they did was make the Shane character apologize to the kid character for pointing out the obvious. So the episode basically starts. I don't really remember how it starts, but basically, the Shane character is looking for a club to join, and Kate decides to help him, and nothing works. So at some point, he gets fed up. He wanted to leave, and through that, they had a little bit of an argument. And Shane said something obvious, right? First of all, he did not want to say it, but Kate kept, pushing him. So he then said it, and he told him what he said was, you have it easier. You have a rich family, you have rich this, rich that, so you can join other clubs and feel at ease in there and just have fun with it. I cannot do that. I don't really come from the kind of home you do, so I have to like struggle a little bit, right? And when he said that, Kid got mad. Well, it's his right to get mad if he wants. And I didn't really have a problem with that particular scene because I was like, good for you, right? But then again, I have seen enough BLs to know where the plot was going. That somebody would have to apologize, and it would sadly be the Shane character, and that's exactly what happened. Shane went to Kate's house, knocked on the door, and actually apologized for saying what he did. And in my mind, I was like, oh, so close. So close. He did not have to apologize for that because everything that he said was the truth. Maybe he could apologize for how he said it, maybe. But even then, it was the kid character that was pushing him to have to say it, right? So I don't understand why he had to apologize. And on top of that, the kid's character made him perform an embarrassing dance for the most part, at least according to Shane, but an embarrassing dance as part of his apology. Do you know how annoying that is? Do you really know how annoying that is? The person who is basically broke and all that kind of stuff and have to learn and do all that stuff to hope that one day they become powerful or rich in the future to take care of themselves and all that kind of stuff. They point out the obvious and then they have to then come to you, the rich person, apologize, and on top of that, have to do a dance that they do not want to do. Was that the lesson of the entire thing? Because if that was the lesson, then that was the terrible, terrible lesson. That was not a good lesson at all. It actually made me enjoy the other couple in the show because they had a nice story going on with that lesson and it just felt nice. But this one, they tried to implement a lesson and it felt so flat on its face. Flat on its face. That has just turned me off to the show. I'm not going to lie to you. It has. And on top of that, the episode ended with them going to those kind of the ping ball. I don't know their name. Those little guns that when you shoot, it has like it shoots colors and stuff. Right? They went in there, and the kid's character was trying to say that yeah, you should do this kind of things a lot more. And in my mind, I was like, yo, this kind of things require money, which my friend Shane doesn't have, which makes the point that he made in the beginning more strong. But the plot just did not care. I assume the writer did not care. All they wanted was something to try and get the kids closer in that way. It wasn't about actually understanding the struggles of what it is to be broke or poor, or at the very least, not necessarily have the life that you really want. So that really bothered me, and I don't know if I'm actually going to continue that show because I can deal with that. If that's what those main leads are going to do, is have not so great plots, I'm not going to vibe with. The other side of it, I kind of like the what do you call it? The Kim and Mon character. They are cute. I like that vibe. But with the main leads, their plot is not right for me. That's what I can say about that. Anyway, moving on to the next show, which is the Bangkok Boy, right? I continue with the fourth episode as I said I would. And the story is still good, but I feel like it has gotten a bit too stale, right? The story has gotten a bit too stale. In the third episode, I understood why there wasn't much happening. Understandable. But in the fourth, I expected something to be happening, and it still felt like we are still in the gathering process, no much is going on, and I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. It's still a nice story, but it's not really making me super excited for the next episode, right? But for now, it's fine. I will give it another chance and continue with the fifth episode and stuff. But I don't know. I don't really know. Based on the first two episodes and like the what's it called? What's the name of the father dying and the friend slash maybe future potential boyfriend also dying, it felt like there was going to be a bit of a revenge plot, and the guy when he comes out is going to mostly focus on that, but it's not really on that. It kind of is, but not really. And there are even some plot point that doesn't really make sense to me because the Peace character, for example, it's weird to me how his father is not really keeping track of him because he nearly jumped off a bridge and it's like nobody tried to stop him. It was the son character that did. And also, I'm also surprised that the son character, nobody's keeping track of him as well because they basically put the guy in jail for something that he did not really do. So at some point he would seek revenge. So I thought for mafia bosses or these mafia people, they'll be keeping eye on stuff like that. But so far it seems like nobody really cares. Unless maybe they'll do a review later on. I don't know. But so far it felt like not much is going on. Was that in the third episode? That was, I think that was in the third episode. Or was it fourth? No, that was the fourth. That was the fourth. That was the fourth, right? Anyway, the point is that the plot is starting to just not feel as strong as as it was in the first two episodes, but it's still decent overall. And I hope with the fifth and sixth episode, I'm still going to watch it like the sixth episode and hope that they maintain the goodness of the show. But I hope that by then, yeah, it would be better because I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was going to be, it was going to push into like my top BLs of the year. But now I'm not so sure. It will still be high, but it's not as high as I thought it was going to be. We'll have to see. Anyway, that's what I have to say about these shows. If you like them, go check them out. Don't just use my opinion as a basis for whether you want to watch them or not. I mean, you can, but at the very least, give them a try before right? Like, just use my opinion as a guide, but don't necessarily like use it as a reason to watch or not watch. Okay, yeah, and then you can come and then we can comment on them or share them and blah blah blah. Anyway, that's all I have to say. See you later. Bye.